Bienvenidos al podcast con Ruedas. En este programa escucharás a diferentes personas hablar sobre lo que es ser una persona con discapacidad. Aquí no hay barreras. Aquí cortamos estigmas y son pláticas de vida real. Bienvenidos al podcast con Ruedas. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode called El Podcast con Ruedas, the podcast with wheels. Today we have a very special guest on. He's been a self-advocate for a very long time and he has a wonderful story to tell. Ryan Klotz, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm good. Thank you for having the time to be on the show.
Thank you for the invite.
Uh, I do want to share with the audience, Ryan was here at a portion of the show when the show wasn't the show yet. I don't know how to explain that, but he was a test dummy because we used to record on Zoom a lot of times, and I didn't have a logo or a platform really. I just recorded on my computer, but now we're a little bit modern, and we're glad to have him on the show, on the original show. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, Ryan, thanks for being here. Um, Thanks for being here again.
A
Eager
pleasure's
to
mine.
eager to listen to your story, and we'll start off by you telling us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and why you're here with us today.
Well, I'm 47 years old. I am a self-advocate and have been an advocate for people with with varying disabilities for just over 20 years, 21 years. And I was born with spina bifida, so I'm developmentally disabled. And I've been advocating, again, 21 years and enjoying myself, making sure people with disabilities are heard and seen.
Okay, so you were born with spina bifida. What was it
Yes.
like for Ryan growing up as a kid? Why don't we start there?
Ryan was sheltered, led a sheltered life. I didn't know a whole lot about life. You know, you've heard the phrase "ignorance is bliss,"
Mm-hmm.
and it was to a good degree. I grew up with very caring parents, very caring family. Still am, still do today. And yeah, it was my childhood was very good for me.
Very good. That's good. I'm glad that you had a wonderful upbringing. What was the
hmm
moment where you realized that you had a disability? Like,
when I remember waking up one day in my bedroom. I think my very first memory was, gosh, I was maybe 4 or 5. That was my first memory that I had. My bed was in the middle of my bedroom, and I just got up, and gosh, I think I was in my walking frame, walk braces. I had full length braces, leg braces, and I think that was my first memory. And
mm-hmm.
I realized I was disabled. It was just common nature to me that I was disabled.
Yes, yes. And did you have any struggles growing up? And if you did, please, I would love for the audience to hear about that a little bit.
Struggles, yeah. Medically, yes. I've had several surgeries, disability related surgeries, especially when I was young, into adulthood. I'm still having surgeries to this day. That was hard for me, hard for my family. to deal with, you know. So, you know, it was difficult because I wish that, I'm glad that I was, being operated on instead of them. I'd rather be on that side than the other side because my parents have had a few surgeries, but I've had my surgeries, I've had my difficulties, and I've persevered through all of it.
Well, that's good to hear.
hmm
Exactly. Can you tell us exactly how many surgeries that has been?
let's just say many dozen surgeries. Let's say that.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, yeah, there's been a lot.
And let's talk a little bit about your younger years. Ryan as a young teenager. What was that like?
Ryan
What
as a
was
young teenager, oh, that was fun. No, your teenage years are the years where you're trying to figure yourself out and figure life out and thinking that you're an adult when you're not. Okay, everybody. I went through that as well. All right.
hmm
I went through the typical in school. I was ignored by many people, especially in when I was a teenager. I was ignored a lot, but then I also had. But on the flip side of that, I had great friends.
Uh-huh.
You know,
So
so it was a good time.
I definitely want to ask you a little bit about your school career all the way back to when you were a kid. I know we jumped into you being a teenager, but I misspoke. I meant to ask you of like when you were a kid, and then we were gonna eventually move on to teenager. But
Okay, okay.
yep.
When I was a kid, okay. Yeah, I same thing. Grade school. I got along. It was as far as my disability was concerned. Nobody picked on me because of my disability, and I'm very grateful for that. Nobody picked on me, made fun of me for that.
Mhm.
I was probably ignored uh, a couple of times in grade school because people thought I was different or they didn't know what I could do or what they could do with me as far as playing with me, things like that. So I went through the typical being avoided by some, liked by more than some, you know.
Okay. So let's continue on that path. Um,
hmm
what did that do to your self esteem? You know, being ignored. Did it bring you down, or were you just a person that didn't really care about what other people thought of you?
At certain times it brought me down, but it was very rare because when you had people that were ignoring you here, I had people who were caring over here, more people who were caring over here, you know?
hmm
So I focused mostly on them.
Okay. And now that we know a little bit about your childhood and
Uh-huh.
what was your parent? How did your parents treat you as far as I have a child with a disability, but I'm not going to treat him any different as a, a child with not a disability. Because
I have to get
you do
go
talk
ahead.
about your mom a lot. You do speak very highly of your mom. So I'm curious to ask you that part inside of your life.
Both my parents are very caring. It was a shock to them, obviously, when they learned that I was disabled. That I had a disability. And their minds went blank at first because they're thinking, "Uh-oh, wow, this is something new. We have to learn this." And as far as family, I think there are some of my family who are still learning that I can do things. I can be a force in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been a force in this world. I will say that proudly.
Yes, you
Um,
have.
they're still they're still learning. Family is still learning about my disability and what I can do, and I'm happy to let them know. Yeah, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. You know.
Okay. So what you're saying is that you've had people back you up, you had people in your corner, is what you're saying, as far as family
Yes.
is. Yep.
Yes.
And I think, I'm not sure, but I think that's what shaped you to be the man or the individual you are today.
Well, thank you. That's part of it. That's part of it. I think my work as a self advocate and as an advocate, standing up for myself and others, has done that as well. You know.
Uh,
But yeah, family and close friends have been there for me my entire life. And I'm very grateful for that.
that's good, because not everybody with a disability has that opportunity. So I'm
No, they
glad that
don't.
you had that in your
Thank you.
life. Can I
Hmm.
ask you, um, God, um, can I ask you, um, has has there ever been a time where you where you have felt sorry for yourself, or have you um have you said, I don't want to be a person with a disability? Because you are a person that is very proud to be a disabled person. Um, but has there ever been a time where you're like, why me?
No, no. This is how I was born. I do things a little differently. I do many of the same things differently as many of us do. You know,
Yep.
I do. When people, people walk to the store. Well, so do I. Just with wheels. I have one very big I'm sitting in one very big roller skate. How about that?
Mm,
One very big
yes,
roller blade.
that's one way to put it.
Right. I'm sitting in a giant roller blade. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
And
huh.
of course, what brings on that attitude? Is it your family? Is it you? Is it your upbringing? Is it the way you saw people with disabilities? Is it
It was my upbringing. It was my upbringing and just the way I am. It's in my genes from both parents. It's in my genes to be like this.
so? What would you say to those people that say, I feel bad for people with disabilities, or I feel sorry for them?
Um, I thank you for that. I appreciate that you feel that way. But there are far many other things that you can feel bad about, feel bad about, for me. But that is no. Um, I was born this way. I'm here. I'm living life. I'm making sure that people with disabilities are seen, heard, and I'm trying to make them understood and accepted more so than they are now, which they are accepted, but we could always use more. There
Yes,
is more
yes.
work to be done.
Ryan, if you don't mind me sharing, um, Um, you can tell me if you want to share this or not, but I do want to share with the audience. Both of your legs are. I don't know if the audience at home can see. Probably not, because we can only see the upper body, Angela. But
Give me a second.
both
Give
of
me a
your.
second.
You
Give me
don't
a
have to
second.
show us. You don't
Give
have
me a
to show
sec.
us.
Do you mind if I do?
I mean, it's your episode,
Let's see.
so I'll narrate a little bit. So
Right
as you
there.
can see, Ryan does not have his legs. And my next question, what was that moment, because you did have legs growing up and as a young man, what was that moment when they were like, we're gonna, not only are you gonna have a spina bifida and a shunt, but now we're gonna amputate your legs.
Well, first of all, I have my thighs still. I have my upper legs still. So, okay. I have my upper legs, so they didn't take everything. Darn it, no. Um, okay, I first of all, I lost both my legs because of lymphedema, which is poor blood flow to the legs because I stay in my wheelchair constantly. You know, and I stay in my wheelchair constantly because I'm going to quote Sheldon Cooper on this. All my cool stuff is here.
Hmm.
Okay, we remember.
Yeah.
Some of us remember that episode. All my cool stuff is here. So
Yep.
I stationed myself in my living room. So I lost both my legs because I stayed in my wheelchair constantly, and I developed bed sores on my feet that went to my bones. So my legs were removed. My right leg was removed in 2019, and I'll make this quick. I'll be honest. I had OCD. 19, let's see, 20, 21, 22, 23. I had OCD for 5 years, obsessive compulsive disorder, because I had one full leg and not the other, and I was eventually I kind of you know I didn't exactly get over it completely, but I just was thinking I have one leg and not the other, just driving me nuts. So I knew, and then 2024 came, and and they said, well, we're going to have to remove the right leg. I said, okay, because I knew it was coming for 5 years.
So what
I
you're
was,
saying is that you were happy when they were like, "We're gonna chop both of your legs down."
yeah, I was happy because I'm a lot shorter, but I feel better now that I'm more even,
Yeah.
you know?
I asked you that question because, to some people, having one disability is, too much. And
Yeah,
having
yeah.
two is way too much. But having three is way, 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 way too much. So,
Hold on. Add to that the many surgeries I've had as well.
yeah. How did you deal with that? How does Ryan overcome all that baggage that not only do you have spina bifida, not only do you have a shunt, not only are both your legs amputated, not only do you have many, many surgeries, but how do you still go through all that as a person and as a man, as an advocate, and still come out there on the other side?
You know why?
Hmm.
Because I'm still gosh darn here. That's
Yeah.
it. Because I'm still here. That's what I say. That's what I say so often. You know,
Hmm.
I look up, I say I'm still here.
Yeah, and
You
I
know?
believe that that's the attitude that you have to have, either because if you spent your whole life sad, you know, you're
Mhm.
you're you're gonna waste your life eventually. What do you think about those people that, it's one little thing and it's like boo hoo, cry me a river or play me the tiny violin. What do you say to those people?
Oh, I don't say
Um,
cry me a river. I don't say cry me a river to their face, but no.
yeah.
No, those people I mean those people that are just, giving up because they have a disability? Or just those people? Why? You know, live your life. You only have one go around in this world, you know?
That's
You only
perfect. That's
you
perfect.
only you only go around once.
That's a perfect thing. Has anyone ever come up to you because you are out in public all the time, as you said? Has anybody come up to you and giving you like "Oh, I'm so sorry" or "Oh, what happened to you" treatment, or "Hey, I'll pray for you"? There's nothing wrong with prayer, but
There are plenty more things that you could pray for me for than than my disability. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Then, um thank you. I yeah. I thank you for the thought. I thank you for the intent, but please don't.
Hmm. Um,
Please don't.
okay, so you're pretty much a look. I I I realize that I have my body isn't the same shape or the same size as everybody else, but you know what? I'm
Mhm.
here. Deal with it. Look at me if you want to. Turn the other cheek if you want to, but I'm still gonna be here at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And Leo, I don't exactly have the same body as everyone else. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, yeah, that's exactly just how you said it.
Well, I commend you for overcoming what you've overcome and still being here and still doing it with a smile on your
Thank you,
face.
thank you.
Really quickly, what was the moment that you were like, I want to be an advocate?
2005, I got a job with a community disability advocacy organization nearby, and I was a team assistant putting informational packets together. While there, I learned about disability advocacy and more about people with disabilities, and I said, you know what? I want to do this. I want to make sure that people with varying disabilities are visible, are seen, heard, accepted, and included. That was the start of it, so I learned as much as I could.
Um, and what was the moment where you say like you spoke publicly? Because I know you speak publicly all the time. What was the
Hmm.
moment? What was the day that you did that for the first time and you were like, I can do this for a living?
Hmm. Gosh. There was a time in 2000, gosh, many years ago, I did a talk with two families with a person with a disability at the Ark of Macomb. So I talked to two families about their about their child's disability. The children were there, and I said, "This is how I live. This is how I have thrived in my life," and I hope that helped them. I was told that it did. So, and that's when I thought, okay, I could probably do this.
Um, well, that's the time that you were like, I can do this, and then
Uh huh.
that opened the doors to many other things.
Um, it was my what opened the door to many other things was my disability advocacy training years later in 2017, where I joined LIPA, Leaders in Policy Advocacy, the LIPA program, sponsored by, at the time, the ARC
Could you explain
the
a
ARC
little bit
mission.
what that program is?
Uh, Leaders in Policy Advocacy, you get it's individuals with disabilities or parents of people with disabilities who meet 5 weekends in a specific location here in Michigan. The location has varied over the years, and they spend 5 weekends, five weekends together, learning about disability advocacy, education, inclusion, disability, and the first weekend for me was disability history. The
Uh,
history of disability, and I learned a lot there. And LIPA was the antithesis for the start of my advocacy, the real start. It really got going for me and opened up many opportunities. In fact, the coordinator of that project recruited me for my current project that I'm working on right now.
That's good. That's
So,
good. That is really good, Ryan. I
mhm.
want to ask you, what was what has advocacy and being a self-advocate taught you throughout the years?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that one more time?
I said, what has self-advocacy and being an advocate for others taught you throughout the years? What is the most important thing that it's taught you?
That I have the strength to survive and you know and just grow as a person. And it showed my strength that I have, my internal strength.
Yeah, you're very knowing your story because we know each other. If you don't mind me sharing, Ryan,
Go ahead.
we know
Go
each
ahead.
other because we work at my DDI. It's a program here in Michigan. For those people watching out of state, um,
Uh huh.
it's a program here in Michigan, and Ryan has been working with me for a while, and he does an amazing job being a self-advocacy, and I've told him about the show many times, but, just recently, I was like, hey, you want to come on the show? And he was like, yeah. So,
Yeah,
we're
let's
glad to
do it.
have you here, bud.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the kind words.
You're welcome. I wouldn't say that if it wasn't true. Um,
I know you wouldn't.
um, Another thing I want to ask you because I see so much potential in you, Ryan. Um, where does Ryan see himself as far as being a self advocate in 10 years?
I hope to continue doing many projects like my current project now, and hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm looking for work, part-time work in disability advocacy. So I'd like to work in this field, and I of course I have to do part-time to in order to keep my benefits. So yeah, I'd like to do this. I have talked to various disability advocacy organizations around Michigan. I've talked to a handful. They're not hiring right now, but I hope they keep my name around just to pull it up if they'd like an advocate.
Well, I
So
hope
I'm
that
still
would
looking.
I hope that works out for you. I hope that
Thank
all
you.
your dreams come true and you continue to be an amazing self advocacy and you continue to teach others because you have a lot of insight and you have a very impactful story. And I can't wait to see that all unfold and come through for you. So,
Thank you.
with all that being said, and with everything that you shared with us today, I want to ask you a question that I ask most of my guests. If
Uh
Ryan
huh.
would have the opportunity to be born again, would you go through everything you went through that you shared with us today? Or would you change one little incy thing if you had the opportunity to?
The way everything that I've gone through I feel like has shaped me to be the person I am. So I would say no, I wouldn't change anything.
Why?
Just because I'm the way I am because of the struggles, the triumphs and tribulations that I've been through.
That's a
You
good
know?
way to put it. Another
Yeah.
another question that I want to ask you. Let's say that a 10-year-old um is is um is watching right now and he has a disability and he doesn't quite accept himself yet. What advice would you give to that 10-year-old, to get him to accept himself the way that he is, the way that you have?
Have faith in yourself. Um no, see that's for a 10-year-old that's too much. Be be proud of who you are. Try in this world it's difficult because everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. I could say something else, but I won't. Everybody has an opinion. You can take it or leave it. I would say leave it, you know. Form your own opinions about yourself, you know. You are you are strong. You at 10 years old, you still have a lot of growing to do. You know, you will grow up to be a great person. You will do that.
There's gonna be struggles, I know for sure, but I'm
Yes,
sure that
yes.
he or she will be fine, right, Ryan?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, you have support in in this world. You know, lean on family, lean on good friends. You know, when you're 18, even when you're a teenager, you know, try to look at organizations that can help you. You know, and when you're 18, definitely look at those organizations that can help you and that will help you. You know, research when you're older. Look up Medicaid. You know,
Mm-hmm.
research Medicaid. You know, get on that. Make
Yep,
sure you have that.
that's very important, isn't it? What?
Learn your
What?
supports and services available.
one one thing that I want to ask you, Ryan,
Hmm. Yeah,
is
yeah,
that I um I don't know, because with our community we have a long ways to go, and I guess the question would be, what are your hopes and dreams now for the future, for the community, for the disabled community, far after you and I are gone? What do you hope to not necessarily see, but what are your wishes that all people with disabilities can what life would you imagine for the community? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I want all people with disabilities to matter in this world. I want all people with varying disabilities, many disabilities, to be able to thrive, be recognized, and be accepted. Be accepted wholeheartedly. You know, I want those people who are doubters to actually learn about people with disabilities. You know, learn what it's like having a life with a disability.
That's a
So
great that's a great message. Thank you. Um,
educate
another
yourselves.
another thing that I guess we're kind of low on running out of time, but one more thing that I want to ask you is if
Yeah.
someone wants to send you a message or reach out to you for advice or just to say hello or just to keep up with you and know a little bit more about you, where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook first of all. Ryan Klotz, Klotz. My picture is up on my profile picture with the words mental health underneath my photo. And you can also reach me on Twitter at Ryan M. Klotz, Klotz, at Ryan M. Klotz. You can tweet me, and I will definitely get it, and I will answer because I look at my social media constantly.
Well, I'm gonna put all that at the description so you guys can finish up watching the episode and click on all that stuff and go follow Ryan, go say hello, go ask him a question because he's an insightful guy. Ryan, I wanna thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing your wonderful story with us, and hopefully all those dreams and all those things that you want to accomplish will come true for you and it'll be a bright future.
Thank you, Leah. I appreciate it. I appreciate the invite once again.
Thank you so much for being here today with us. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. I want to invite everyone to not only go follow Brian, but go subscribe to our channel. Click the subscribe button. Click the post notification button so you don't miss an episode. And we'll see you until the next time. Bye!